which is strange for me. I always said I would never. I'm gonna try it with this plant to see what happens. I'm going to just switch out the water. I really should be pH balancing the water, but I'm not there yet. So I was talking to Adam and Nicole about it, and they said if I pH balance the water, it should be fine to just like do this because the pond has slow release fertilizer. So I'm gonna see how it goes. And this is a plant that I was experimenting on anyway. And if you wanna see like the process of converting it to this, I have a video on my Patreon of some plant tours that I did. Pretty simple. I got this little kit from Planty Queens. So I figured I might as well try it with a plant that I don't care about that much. Like if it dies, I'm not gonna be that hurt. But if it lives, it's gonna be pretty exciting. So I watered it from the top down and until the little level is back at full. I don't know. I'll update you soon when I have any result, if anything. Okay, next question, a planty question. The leaves of my gloriosum tear when unrolling. How can I prevent this? The easiest way to do this, well, the reason why this happens in general is usually because the air is not humid enough, and so when it's coming out, it's like stuck to itself. And so the plant is like trying to pull the leaf apart so that it can unfurl, and then it gets stuck. And so the best way that I have found to prevent this without making my room extremely humid, because like that's not always possible, basically what you can do is just spritz the new leaf. So let me show you, for example, this Philodendron Mambii is putting out a new leaf, and it's not very humid, and you can see that it's kind of sticking like right here. It's kind of stuck. And so what I would do is I just get a spray bottle and like spritz the leaf, and usually with a little bit of lubrication it just pops open. And if you're noticing like a new leaf coming out in general, like especially in the winter, I would say use your mister to mist the leaf just to keep it wet or like give it a boost. The mist is not going to last for very long, like maybe an hour or so, so you're not necessarily adding humidity long term, but you're just adding a little bit to get it going, and then hopefully it should be fine and be able to unfurl normally. But if you don't do that, the leaves can sometimes rip themselves as they're coming apart, because humidity or not, the leaf is going to unfurl, and you can sort of help it in that way. Okay, next question, which is very nice to ask. How are you? I hope you are as happy as you seem in videos. I am genuinely very happy, and I don't know, I just feel very content as of right now, which is a really nice feeling, because I am a person who is perpetually like always looking for what's next and always wanting to do more and be more. And I feel pretty content right now. Like, of course I would want my channel to grow. Of course I would want to have more money to be able to do things in my house or this or that. But generally I feel really good right now, and we have not entered into winter, which is usually a hard time for me, especially living here where it gets so dark in the winter time. But summer, fall, spring is always pretty nice, and yeah, I am doing pretty well. I'm happy to live where I live because it's very beautiful, and feeling fulfilled in my career and in my relationships. Okay, next question. This is another plant question. So far it's been like personal plant, and I like the variety. So this one says, Hoya carnosa compacta leaves just get yellow and fall off with almost every watering. Why? Okay, see, if this was any other plant, I would have been like, you're probably overwatering it. But with specifically, oh, there's a blue jay out there at my little bird bath. It's drinking water. Because you mentioned that it's a Hoya, I'm concerned that it might have flat mites. That is one of the signs of flat mites, and flat mites are so hard to see. And I've mentioned this so many times, like every time I mention it, but like I don't have a ton of experience with flat mites, but basically it's just this very, very, very tiny mite that you cannot see with your naked eye. Like you can try, but you will not see it. And they attack Hoya mostly is what I'm seeing. They can also attack other plants, but Hoya is definitely their favorite meal. And you could be dealing with that. So the way to really know would be to buy like a microscope, like a USB microscope. I can link an option down below that my friend Adam has. I ended up purchasing a macro lens, and I was able to see them through the macro lens, and I can link that down below as well. It's just like a clip that I put onto my phone, and I just viewed it through the camera. And then also, if you are just suspicious that you have them, you can make up a mixture of plant sulfur and water. And I am going to be showing the process of that later, but basically I have like a spray bottle and I put a little bit of sulfur in it, like some, I think it's from like Bonide or something like that. I got it online. I'll link that below as well if you're interested. And I sprayed it on all of my Hoya, and it leaves a cloudy residue. You can see that there's like clearly something on these leaves, but this plant has not put out growth successfully since I had it. Like it shot up this, but the growth is like misshapen, or like maybe even like slightly misshapen, but still misshapen. And instead of looking like this, you know? So normally when your leaves come out looking like not flat and like they're supposed to, it means that there's pest activity usually. And so with Hoya and the fact that these mites are so small, it's really hard to tell. So what you could do is just treat it with the sulfur and then see if after the treatment it starts putting out new growth. And if that happens, then you probably had them, because I sprayed this maybe like 2 weeks ago, and I have one, is this growing? No, two, I swear there was 3. Anyway, I have at least 2, no, 3 down here. Sorry. I have at least 3 active and healthy growth points that are putting out new leaves successfully without them falling off, because what would happen is the new leaf would kind of come out and then it would end up falling off. So if you're noticing that happening, or like yellowing where it shouldn't be yellowing, check for root rot if you have like pretty heavy soil, and then I would suggest treating with this stuff, because that might be the problem. You guys saw me making my systemic mixture earlier, so I have just like a few more plants from the cabinet to water. So I'm gonna do that real quick, and then we're gonna move on to a different part of the house. This video is sponsored by Warby Parker, so let's talk a little bit about them. They are where I got my glasses from, and many glasses before this. These are the Right frames, and they're in the green color, and I really like them. What I do whenever I need to get new glasses is I will get a Warby Parker at-home try-on kit. And with that, you go on their website and there's a little list where you can toggle at-home try-on available. And then you can scroll through that list and find glasses that you like and that you would like to try on at home. And then you will get a box in the mail. It is free shipping, and they also have a free return label, so you don't have to pay for anything. It's really important to make sure that you're keeping an updated prescription on your glasses or contacts, because this is how we see the world. And it's so funny because you don't realize like how fuzzy the world is until you are using the correct prescription, and you're like, oh, that's what it's supposed to look like. So Warby Parker actually offers online vision testing for $15 through their vision testing app. So you can download that and try that out. And also they have their other app for actually trying on the glasses, which is so accurate. It actually blows my mind every time I use it. I'm like, how are they able to do this? It's insane. So if you are interested in checking out Warby Parker, you can click the link down below, warbyparker.com/plants, and know that with every glasses purchase, 1 pair of glasses is donated to someone in need, which is always a really awesome thing. So thank you, Warby Parker, for sponsoring this video, and let's get back into it. Okay, we are by my TV stand, as you can see, and I have 2 plants to water over here. This is my Pothos and Joy, and it has been so happy under these grow lights from Mother. I have them turned off right now. I forget to turn them on. I need to get a timer over here. But even with me forgetting to turn them on, sometimes I have not noticed these plants suffering at all. They look really good. And I think I made the right choice on plants to put under here, because they are a little bit more drought tolerant. Like if something happens where I don't notice that they're thirsty for a bit, or maybe they're not getting enough light for a little bit, they're gonna do fine and like bounce back. Thoughts on prop lifting, and have you ever done it or do it now? Okay, prop lifting, in my opinion, is not it. I don't think that it's something that people should do. I think that a lot of the time, like if you see a cutting on the floor, or like a succulent, or like something broke off and it's literally on the ground, I think there's nothing wrong with like going up to an employee and being like, hey, I found this on the ground, like, can I have it? Or like, what do you want me to do with it? I feel like oftentimes the employee is gonna be like, yeah, take it. But then I worry about people pretending like they found something on the ground. So prop lifting basically is like taking a cutting off of a plant, and then like from a store. So the plant is for sale. Like let's say off of this, you see a spider plant with all these babies, and you're like, oh, I could just like chop off that baby and no one will notice. Now with the spider plant, that's not as big of a deal. I still wouldn't suggest it, but it's not as devastating as like cutting off an